Are you listening?
Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report, your go-to source for all the week's gaming news, nerfed into one show once a week, so you can worry less about reading the news and get back to playing those video games. And on this week's episode, Overwatch might be coming to the Nintendo Switch, Fortnite and Borderlands achieve the crossover we never knew we wanted, Gamestop gets new Last of Us 2 footage, the next Apex Legend has been revealed, and Telltale Games is back from the dead. But before we talk about any of that, your top headlines. First up, Gamestop held their annual managers conference this week in which they talked about corporate rebranding, new video games, and techniques to properly value video games. I'll give you $2. Ooh, great game. $4. Ooh, sorry. We only buy real video games. For those in attendance, this year's conference was a fantastic experience. However, the peak of this year's conference was when everyone was given an exclusive first look at brand new Last of Us 2 footage. Now, this video has yet to be released to the rest of us here on the internet, but a manager in attendance did tweet out a screenshot of the trailer with a headline saying, "OMG, Last of Us Part 2. When Twitter user Eric Utz for the win pressed for more information, Gaming Forte said, "All I can say is gameplay was about stealth and how you can use clickers to your advantage. Very short, but great vertical slice of gameplay." Last of Us Part 2 is a follow-up to the fantastic first game, which told the story of Joel and Ellie during a massive apocalypse. Currently, Last of Us Part 2 is speculated to be launching in February of 2020. Overwatch. This game originally launched in 2016, along with games like Mafia 3, The Division, and Gears of War 4. However, unlike any of those other games, Overwatch has gone on to sell 30 million copies worldwide, create a massive esports league, and continue to dominate the top searched video game characters on Pornhub. But for a game that has done it all, there is still one mountain left to climb. Mount Nintendo Switch. But luckily for Overwatch fans, the wait might be over, because this week a new Nintendo Switch case discovered by Twitter user Wario64 on Amazon seems to be an Overwatch-themed Switch case. The case in question comes from Power A and is described as officially licensed by Nintendo and Blizzard Entertainment. Now, the product listing has since been removed from Amazon, but this does lead to the million-dollar question. If Overwatch isn't on the Switch, why make an Overwatch Nintendo Switch case? Or maybe the announcement for Overwatch coming to the Switch is just right around the corner. Next up, let's talk about Fortnite. Currently, the world's most popular video game finds itself falling into controversy after controversy. First, it was ban the drum gun, then it was hashtag Brutegate, and now they are saying Nerf turbo building. But during the latest controversy, Fortnite has done what they do best, announced brand new content that nobody saw coming. The worlds of Fortnite and Borderlands have collided, and the inhabitants of Pandora have found their way to Fortnite, and they brought with them the planet's characteristic mayhem. That's right, from August 27th until September 10th, gamers can jump into a Pandora Rift Zone, which brings the cel-shaded mayhem of Borderlands to Fortnite. During the limited time event, gamers can also purchase the Psycho Bundle, which comes with an exclusive Borderlands Psycho skin and a Claptrap backpack. And finally, for our top headlines, Apex Legends. We are halfway through Season 2 of Apex Legends Battle Charge, and thanks once again to everyone in attendance at the Gamestop Managers Conference. Because of you, we now have our first look at the next in-game legend for Apex. During the Gamestop Manager Conference, Respawn gave the first official look at Crypto, the 11th legend to join Apex. Now, very little is known about Crypto at this point, but data miners have reported that Crypto will be in the Tracker class, and can use drones to spot enemies, loot chests, and open doors. As for a release date, it is currently speculated that Crypto will launch hand in hand with Season 3 of Apex, which is scheduled to launch in October. The Gamestop Managers Conference, the only place where NDAs and secretive first looks have the same value as your trade-ins.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
Telltale Games. One of the biggest stories of 2018 was the sudden closure and implosion of Telltale Games. Within a matter of minutes, one of the largest developers of narrative-driven, choose-your-own-adventure games was gone. Telltale Games was responsible for fan-favorite games like Batman, The Wolf Among Us, Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Walking Dead. And what makes the closing of Telltale Games so interesting is that for many gamers, it came as a surprise. I mean, now that the chips have fallen, people can go back and see the writing on the wall. But the thing is, Telltale's Walking Dead series was one of the most beloved games of all time. Gamers felt such a close connection to the story's main character, Clementine. And I would even go out on a limb to say that that connection hasn't been found with any other Walking Dead character from the comics or even the TV show. And honestly, we could spend hours discussing what caused Telltale Games to close. Personally, I think Telltale Games was the first casualty of Let's Plays and live streaming. When you have a game like The Walking Dead, that's main mechanic is choosing the outcome to responses or conversations, the overall replayability of the game isn't really there. Because you see, with a Telltale game, no matter what outcome you choose, the main ending will always be the same. So when you have live streamers or Let's Plays showing the entire story for millions of people, Telltale is losing out on a ton of potential customers. I guess think of it this way. Sony just released Venom into theaters a couple months ago, and honestly, I mean, it was alright. But if an individual had streamed Venom to its entirety online where I didn't have to buy a ticket to see the movie, chances are, after seeing that live stream, I wouldn't go out and buy another ticket to watch it again. And in a way, that's what killed Telltale Games. In fact, according to Steam Spy, the final season of The Walking Dead sold an estimated 200,000 to 500,000 copies on PC. Whereas on YouTube, there are full playthroughs of the entire season with 437,000 views, 1 million views, or even PewDiePie with 4.4 million views. And in most cases, Let's Plays or live streams do help in overall sales. But when your primary draw is the story or the outcome to that story, watching the game played for free doesn't really encourage you to go out and buy the game. And unfortunately, in the case of Telltale, if I was wrong, they would still be here today. But, of course, that is the past. This week, it was announced that Telltale Games is back. According to Hayden Taylor over at GameIndustries.biz, after 6 months of negotiations, LCG Entertainment has completed its asset grab of Telltale Games and is preparing to relaunch the fallen brand. While the statuses of licenses such as Borderlands, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Minecraft are currently unknown, Telltale still holds the rights to its original IPs, The Wolf Among Us and Batman. However, The Walking Dead and Stranger Things have reverted to Skybound and Netflix respectively. Telltale 2.0 is going to be led by Jamie Audeley and Brian Waddle, And in an interview with Polygon's Colin Campbell, Audley confirmed that the new Telltale would be using these next couple months to focus on tools, technology, and design in-house. Some things like animation and motion capture will be done with the right partnerships externally. When pushed on the issue of whether they had plans to hire former Telltale employees laid off by the original company, Audley said that they plan to offer freelance roles with full-time positions possible in the future. And on the topic of change, Audley said, "We will probably keep the concept of episodes, but with different pacing. This is a different world from a media consumption standpoint. We need to look at how people like to entertain themselves. I like the idea of binge watching." Now, the plan is for Telltale 2.0 to be based in Malibu, California, and for publishing of future games to be handled by publisher Athlon Games. But don't expect anything soon. Audley did confirm we're going to stay small over the next 6 months, and we will work for more of a distributed development pipeline than Telltale was known for. So, Telltale Games is back from the dead, but this time with new owners, a new publisher, a new home, and new developers. And at this point, all we can do is hope that with all these changes, the essence that made Telltale so cool is still going to be there. Also, we can only pray that this new iteration succeeds and doesn't become some form of Frankenstein's monster.
Look, it's moving. It's moving. It's alive. It's alive!
And finally, for this week, ladies and... that noise, of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So, in order to cover all the week's remaining news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call... Every single week, we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying! So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. And... go! Disney plans on releasing remastered editions of the classic video games Aladdin and Lion King. Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC Episode 1 is available right now for free. Cyberpunk 2077 plans on eliminating male and female sexes in the game, and instead will allow you to determine what your body looks like. Cuphead's in-game music, which is fantastic, is now available in sheet music. Pokemon Masters is now out on iOS and Android devices. Spider-Man on the PlayStation is getting a Game of the Year edition, which comes with the full game and all of the DLC expansions for $39.99 US. If you haven't played it, jump on it right now. Diddy Kong is coming to Mario Kart Tour. Shovel Knight is getting a brand new game called Shovel Knight Dig. Data miners have found its Pennywise in Fortnite, and the mobile gaming industry has hit $68 billion in value. Man, imagine if this show was worth that. That is it for Nerfed in 60 seconds, and that is it for this week's episode of the show. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to the channel. As always, my name is Bryant Chappell. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks so much for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right there. In fact, your grandma sitting right next to you, grab her phone, open up YouTube, go to the Nerf Report and hit subscribe. And once you're done with your grandma's phone, get your sisters, your moms, your brothers, your dads, your uncles, get everybody's phone and subscribe to the Nerf Report. Thanks in advance.